Goeiemôre.
And we're back after a week of, let me say, rather say 2 weeks of not feeling well at all. I just want to bring the microphone a bit clearer, nearer to us. Yeah, we were unfortunate victims of COVID. Is that the right word? Victims of COVID.
Yes.
Goodness me, that sounds ridiculously
Yes.
good. Yeah, we had the bug, and we got the bug from somebody who went to South Africa. I'm not going to point fingers, but somebody went to South Africa and they brought the bug back. So, yeah, but good morning to everybody. Good morning, Vanita. I see Vanita's already greeted us on the other side. Yeah, this morning we're talking about immigration and how it is a humbling experience. What I was thinking about our topic this morning, I was thinking that you must allow yourself to be humbled by this experience. Otherwise, you are going to go back.
Or rather say, you must beware.
Embrace.
Beware, you will be humbled.
You will be humbled. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of things that will really humble you. Not only immigrating to New Zealand, but I think immigrating anywhere in the world. I am on a group of ladies that immigrated to anywhere in the world, and everyone goes through the same thing, and everyone's got the same experience.
Yeah. So this fan a bit.
It's very hot this morning. I don't know.
It's extremely hot from yesterday afternoon. It totally went berserk, and it just went crazy, and it's hot. Okay, let's put it down there. So yeah, but the main thing I think that we as South Africans, where we come from, normally has an influence of where we arrive in New Zealand, because where you come from, you've been used to living in this area, and you drove this car, and your friends had basically the same type of cars. Sorry if anybody's driving a Fortuner. Let me take a Fortuner as a...
Yeah.
you buy a Fortuner, and most of your friends would have Fortuners, and you'll have Bries, and you live in the same middle class type of suburb. And then suddenly you arrive in New Zealand, and you are amongst people that's either better educated than you or worse educated than you, and they all live in the same street.
Yeah.
And nobody worries about what you drive, what your house look like. It's just one of those things.
I think it's just one of those things. We have to be honest about this. When you think of immigrating, do your homework, and you will see that in South Africa you are actually very fortunate, and you are very spoiled. I think South Africa is the only country in the world, or one of the few countries in the world, that has got someone that works in your house, a garden boy, someone that cleans your car, look after the children, all that kind of stuff. So you are,
and it's not very expensive. You can have the same. Yes. You can have the same in New Zealand,
but you are going to pay for it, or anywhere else in the world. For instance, America or anywhere else.
South America have the Mexicans climbing over the wall the whole time.
Yes, and the thing is, even Canada. I'm on a group for Canadian women that immigrated to Canada, and it's the same there. So I think you must just be aware that it is not going to be the same in New Zealand or anywhere else that you immigrate to.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare yourself to step down on your ladder. Otherwise, you are going to tumble down.
And step down on your expectations as well.
Yeah. So yeah, you cannot expect, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people doesn't want to immigrate, because you are living this high-end life in South Africa, and you've got everything and anything going for you. So it is, it's
very humbling at the end of the day. So somebody just put it well. They said, no judgment in this country. We are all the same.
Yeah. And the thing is, we all know what it is like to immigrate.
Yeah. So we've got a cat down this morning that's busy biting our toes. So the big thing is, they won't look down on you, or they won't judge you, or they won't think bad of you just because you drive an older car.
No.
That's one thing. They won't look down on you just because you live in a rented house. it's something that everybody else does in this country, and they know that's the way that immigrants come to New Zealand, and that's how you start off. At the end of the day, you can buy yourself a brand new car, and it's great if you can do that.
The thing is,
but it's not a must.
What we've just experienced so many times, especially with men that's got their own businesses in South Africa. I know you worked very hard to get your business up and running, but if you want to come to New Zealand, the money that you are going to bring with you, even if you sell all your businesses and all your houses that's worth 5 million and plus, that money in the end of the day is not worth much when you come to New Zealand. So you will live, that money will roll very quickly. And we're talking from experience. We didn't even come with a lot of money, and it went 3 months and it's just
flies
out the door. So you have to just be prepared that it's probably not going to be what you think it's going to be. You're going to have to work very hard, and you're going to have to step back a little bit. Someone's going to be your boss.
And it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. You can do it. Nobody around the bride tonight is going to think, oh, you're a loser, or what would they think? No. You're a bad guy, or you haven't made it in life just because you work for a boss again. It's one of those things, guys.
So I think you must just also be honest with yourself. If that is not something that you are prepared to do, then don't think about immigrating, because you're going to find it really hard. And then you're going to go back to South Africa and tell everyone what a bad country New Zealand is, and how nasty the people are. And it's a thing, it's within yourself. It's actually you.
It's actually you.
So just be honest. And I mean, immigration is not for everyone. So if you're not prepared to step down a little bit, then don't come. There's no reason why you should. No one says you should immigrate. It's
a free choice to immigrate, and everybody has got their own unique set of reasons why. So my reasons can't be your reasons, and your reasons can't be her reasons, for instance. But whatever your reason may be, to get out of South Africa, it's a good idea, according to me. Let me put it that way. But our reasons to get out is totally different. And when we arrive here, that doesn't make us so far different, because we've gone through the same process to get out. Although the reasons are different, we still had to get on the airplane, had to come down here. And it doesn't make you better or me better than the rest, because you've got a different reason than me. So
yeah. As long as you're just prepared and honest with yourself, don't make a mistake of giving up everything and coming here and you're not willing to adjust your lifestyle a little bit.
Guys, you need to adjust. You need to be able to bend, be that tree that can bend. I was going to put this only one sentence here. Yes, immigration is not for the faint-hearted. That is a fact. Immigration is probably one of the most difficult things that you ever do in your life.
It is. I always say to people, because there are people that's really struggling with family that are nasty to them, and about immigrating, and they becoming very nasty. So I just always say, you know what, let them be. You are the brave one, because trust me, it is not an easy journey.
And if you're standing around the braai fire tonight and somebody tells you how bad New Zealand is, remember, he was that guy that wasn't willing to bend and wasn't willing to adapt to this country. So just keep that in mind as well. So
I was thinking last night when I was lying in bed thinking about this, we are actually so blessed, and sometimes you forget how privileged you are and how lucky you were to be able to immigrate to a country like New Zealand. So it becomes very easy to start moaning and groaning about everything again. So I think just step back a little bit and have a look at what you've got.
And in any society, if you look for something to moan, you will find something to moan about. That's a fact. And there is things to moan about in New Zealand, but it's not as bad as the things we moaned about in South Africa, to be quite frank. We still have power every day.
So. And another thing is just, you must remember that New Zealand, I think, is one of the most expensive countries in the world to live in currently. It is really expensive. Your money doesn't go a long way. So for you to start from scratch, buy a house, first you have to save to get a deposit together. When you, in the end, buy a house and you have to pay off your mortgage, you have to allow yourself to, I don't know, feel proud that you were able to buy a
Oh,
house,
yeah,
even
yeah,
though
yeah, yeah.
you can't travel
Mm,
so much or whatever. There are a lot of things in New Zealand that you can do without a lot of money.
It is.
So I think just be grateful that you were able to come and buy a house, and it's no one's going to judge you for not being able to travel. It's not the end of the world.
No.
You will have time for that later when your mortgage is paid off. So, yeah.
And if you can afford a tank of petrol, let's say every second or third month as an extra, you can travel far and see a lot of things. And just take the food you would have eaten at home and take that with you. I mean, that's one of the saving or one of the ways we started saving in the beginning. And
yeah,
we had to put every cent away that we could
Yeah.
just to be able to buy our first house. So
I think another thing that will really humble you is that it's sometimes not that easy to find a job. Um, I know of a lot of people that come here. I know that you have to have a job when you come here, but I mean, then the spouse are looking for something, and it's really not that easy to find something. And I know of people that come here on a visitor's visa looking for work, and they go back because they couldn't find anything. So don't think that it is as easy as get on a plane, get here, find a job, start your life. It is not
I
like
still
that.
see people just say, "No, get on the plane. You'll
I
find."
know.
It's
I
not
saw
that way.
someone yesterday on Facebook again, and some um, what do you call them?
I don't know.
What is Vanita?
Oh, immigration advisor.
Some immigration advisor that's going to South Africa doing some kind of course that you can do, and then you just get on a plane and find a job. I don't know how people can still do that, but I think people are so desperate
just to get out
that
there.
they just fall for anything. So just don't be stupid. Just do your homework before you do something like that.
Yeah. For me, I mean, if you can get the chance to come to New Zealand, I would really suggest to do that. But keep in mind, you got to do it the right way, especially with on the job field. That they change the stuff around so much these days on the immigration that something that was a good, or how can I say, green listed job. I don't know if that's the right description, but a job that could land you a job in New Zealand could be tomorrow, could be out.
Yeah.
Totally out.
Yeah. And then another thing they must just also keep in mind is, Charles is now saying you have to experience New Zealand and make your own decision. Even if you come for a look-see decide, we did that.
You're still not prepared.
You're still not prepared.
It's not
1% of what it's going to be like when you live here, because your whole life will change.
And I mean, on a look-see decide, it's basically you're on holiday.
Yes, and
so you arrive on this
it's
holiday.
It's the nature that's nice, and everything looks nice.
And you're jet lagged, and you've got to try to find a job. And,
yeah. And there are also cultural differences, and yes.
But all in all, sorry, I chipped in. I think all in all, if you are able to open yourself up to the new that you are going to experience, then this is not a bad country to experience the new in.
No, we have been talking over the past few months a lot to people that maybe want to immigrate again to New Zealand, to Australia or anywhere else in the world. And then in the end, if you do your list of pros and cons, if you weigh it up, I think I'll just stay in New Zealand. There's nothing.
I actually did a list of pros and cons back in, I think it was 2014 or so. And I had South Africa, and I had New Zealand, and I had Australia.
Okay.
And for me, the pros for South Africa was I was settled. I did have a job. I did have a house. There's a lot of pros basically to stay, but all the pros that was in New Zealand and Australia, like safety, food security, those type of things, I couldn't tick off in South Africa. So I had to make the head shift in myself before I even thought about which country to go to. So
yeah, I think when you make that list, be honest with yourself. put there, I'll have to adjust, live in a smaller house.
Mm.
I watched House Hunters International last night again, the New Zealand one, for
Oh,
people
okay.
that wanted to
Okay.
come to New Zealand. And they took them to,
You should share that with the people.
oh, yeah,
Yeah.
we could. The guy took them, they were looking for a lifestyle property or something. And I think it's about 4 years, the program is about four
Okay.
years old or something. But looking at the houses on the lifestyle properties and stuff, we are used to that now. But if you are coming from South Africa and you lived in, I don't know, Sandton in this mansion or whatever, you're not going to want to live in that house.
No.
But then as they walk around and show everything that's on that property, and it was on a vineyard property in Akarua.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. All places.
It's the lifestyle.
The openness.
It's the lifestyle that is that I'm drawn to. It's not so much the houses and stuff. So just be honest with yourself when you make your pros and cons list. If that is not something that you are willing to do, go watch House Hunters International. You'll see what I mean. Some South Africans can't even fit their furniture into their houses. So you will have to make a lifestyle change.
And that is a fact. There is, I want to say, in the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of things have changed in New Zealand for the better. For the better. And I want to call it for the better. Stuff like coffee shops and these types of things. So, which you didn't
Much
have
better.
4 or 5 years ago. So, but it's still a humbling experience if you come here and you think you're just going to walk into a restaurant and go and sit, and some waiter will appear and you'll be helped, or you'll stop at the petrol station and some person will appear and just add petrol to your vehicle. It's humbling. You have to get out. You have to go and now physically find out how this thing works.
And I think instead of moaning about what you have to do, be grateful for the way that you had it when you were in South Africa, the way that you were spoiled.
I'm thinking now back. I just was thinking about that now. Putting petrol in my car, it's not a hassle anymore.
No.
It's just one of those things. And I think I probably do it faster than anybody in South Africa can put petrol in their cars. So
no, it's not.
And ordering stuff from any restaurant while you go and you pay up front and then you get your food later, that's not a hassle anymore.
No, it's different, but it's not a hassle. But again, we knew that was the way that it was going to be.
But I mean, in the beginning, I struggled to adapt to that because I didn't know how it was working. So it's more the adaptation of being stupid than anything else. But I mean, these days, you just have to get used to this.
Just do it. For me, it was difficult because I am not a person that like to approach people that I don't know, strangers.
Okay.
So because anyone will help you if you just go up and say, sorry, I don't know how this works. Anyone will show you. But for me, it was just difficult to approach someone to ask them. So I used to
probably is with the garages where there's nobody. I mean, it's just a pump standing there. But we had to do that, otherwise we couldn't go further. So
what else is there? How can I move this up?
It's like that.
Oh yeah. We made a list of personal traits that people have that those people should maybe reconsider if they want to immigrate and maybe not immigrate.
You got to make it as easy as possible for yourself.
And if you're not able to do that, then rather leave it, because you are not going to be happy.
No, and your family is going to suffer.
Yeah. So the first thing was inflexibility. You have to be flexible.
Oh yeah. And you can't get your all gold 36 tomatoes in a bottle, and that's going to cause you not to come. Don't come.
You have to be able to adapt. It's a new culture. It is a new language, although it's English. It is a new
language, totally new.
The way that they operate and the way that they do things in business and in shops and
sometimes
anywhere
very frustrating.
Yes, I think in a job situation.
But you got to adapt to that.
Yeah. So. And if you are not resilient, you have to be resilient. Otherwise, you're going to go back in the first 2 months. For me, and I know you too, the moment I made up my mind, I'm coming to New Zealand, there was no turning back. I told him, I'm not going back. Even if I have to pack shelves or, I don't know, do whatever, I'm not going back. You have to be resilient. Even if there will be some stones thrown on your path.
Mm. You
Hurdles that you have to
that's
overcome.
life, guys. You got to, but you got to deal with them.
Yeah.
Those stones and those barriers, you got to deal with them as they come up. So
just push through. Just push through.
Just go for that. So,
if you are someone that this was for me, it was difficult. That I'm an introvert. So if you are someone that
really
don't like to socialize, you have to be able to change in that way. Otherwise, you're going to find it really hard to make friends. So if you are not willing to put yourself out there, think twice. Otherwise, you're going to be very lonely. And a new country is not a place that you want to be lonely in.
No.
It's going to get to
but
you.
You just
very
need
quickly.
one good friend. It could take a year, 2 years to get that one good friend, but that could be your anchor.
Yes.
So,
so just put yourself out there. For me, that was difficult, but I think I'm better now. I think I'm better.
I'll get better soon, Garth, as well this morning. So
then another thing is, if you are culturally insensitive, and this is a South African thing.
It's a South African thing. Yeah.
But don't come with that cultural insensitivity and bring it to New Zealand and treat the people the same way that you are used to treating the people in South Africa. It's not the same.
Yeah.
And always just remember, this is not your country of birth. The New Zealanders allowed you to come into this country and make it your home. This is not your country to change. And the country is not going to change for you. You are the one that will have to change. It will never change. It's like any other country.
It's like any other country, guys.
South Africa's not going to change for you. You will have to change. So it's the same in New Zealand.
Yeah. And the problem is people come with that mindset down here and think they can, how can I say, shout the world right. That's right.
Doesn't work like that. You will be labeled for being a bully if that is the way that you operate. So be open-minded. What is the stepchildren?
I don't know. Somebody made a comment down here of stepchildren. Penny probably just explain this comment.
So just be open-minded when you immigrate. Things are going to be different. You have to embrace it.
And the nice thing is, get to learn the culture. I know this is the thing this is a South African thing. Well, we don't want to know about their culture. It's got nothing to do with us. Blah blah blah. If they can't braai and drink brandy, then they're no good. That's just a South African thing. And I promise you, guys, if you go and just learn a bit about the other people's culture, you'll find out the Kiwis drink just as much, but probably more beer than brandy at the end of the day. And they don't braai, but they do bonfires. So
the thing is,
small things.
You will be so much richer.
Yeah. Oh, she said now, we are like stepchildren in the family of Aotearoa. It is like that, yeah.
Yeah, and the wonderful thing about this is they are so accepting of us. There are some that's not as accepting.
There's some, yeah.
But again, just be resilient. Yeah. Just push through. Not everyone has to like you. In South Africa, not everyone liked us.
No, and it's a fact. And not everybody can like you. You're not a smartie, so everybody loves smarties.
Yeah, so.
Or Easter eggs. What is it these days? Yeah, the other thing is you got to be the change in yourself. Nobody else is going to change you. You got to be that change. And if you can't make that decision inside of you, inside of your heart, or in your mind, or whatever, then it's going to be an uphill struggle. To be quite frank about that, it's not going to be easy for you. Yeah,
and the thing is, if there is one country that's really open to this, it is New Zealand. There are so many cultures, people from different countries. So it is one of the easiest countries, I think, to learn the cultures of different countries.
And I mean, you get that culture firsthand, because that guy from India lives right next to you, and the guy from China lives on the other side.
And they learn a lot from us as well. Yeah. I know of South Africans that saying their neighbors are also now using aromat, and I don't know what. That's something that we learn from each other.
Yeah, you can probably teach the Indians how to use nice curry, because they still struggle with the curry. So
Not the real Indians, they do nice
yeah,
curries.
but the Kiwi Indians, the ones that have been here
no,
a
they-
while, that sweet curry of theirs. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Any fellow suffers in Halswell? Where is Halswell? Do you know?
No, that's an interesting question.
Mm.
We'll have to find out that.
Mm.
Just saying, all cultures have strengths and weaknesses. We can learn from each
Yeah.
other, especially on the strengths and the weaknesses. And you gotta find out what that is. And sometimes what is a strength from me will be a weakness for somebody else. Oh,
Okay.
Halswell is
Halswell
in
is in
Christchurch. Okay.
Nice.
All right, Gareth, we hope you find some friends down in Christchurch. I've got friends coming down to Christchurch. I'm meeting with them this morning at 11 o'clock.
Are they coming down to Christchurch?
Are they going down to Christchurch? Yeah, they're going to live in Christchurch.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I'll tell them about you.
Yeah.
So,
We are planning a trip to the South Island in December. So we are busy doing our itinerary of places to visit and stuff. And we are really excited.
yeah, it's going to be a very epic trip. We're taking a group of guys down to the South Island. We're going to be on the 4x4 group tracks down there. And play around for about 2 weeks, roughly.
Yeah.
About.
But we are going to do other stuff as well.
I'm going to do other stuff as well, but the
Yeah.
main thing is to drive some of those 4x4 routes, those iconic routes that you always just read about.
Yeah,
so
that's really exciting. They're really exciting.
So yeah, let's get back to the humbling experience. But don't let this humbling experience break you.
No.
Let this humbling experience make you a stronger person, because you are strong, and that I found that out from immigrants from all over the world. You are strong if you have the mind to pack up everything in your country and bring it all to New Zealand and start all over with your life, because that's what you're doing. You're starting. It's a rebirth this side. You start all over. It's not easy, but that makes you strong inside. So
it makes you a better person.
And build on that, guys. Build on that. The fact that you are strong inside, make yourself stronger and stronger, and it will make you more resilient. And that'll any stones that gets thrown towards you or barriers put up in your way, you'll just walk through those things. It's easy as, because in life you will always have barriers somewhere or stones thrown at you. You will always have that. Let's face it. You can't get away from that if you are really living. So
I think another thing that I've seen a lot of people that came to New Zealand has learned, even though it is very difficult, if you need help, ask.
Yeah, reach out.
I know it is also not easy, because that in itself is a humbling experience. But if you see how people, the way that they, I don't know, just the way that they handle stuff like this, it is amazing. Just ask. There will be someone that can help you, definitely. And you will make new friends that way. We've met a lot of people just through that.
And in the beginning, we had to ask for a lot of help. These days, people ask us for help, and I'm not saying ask us for money, ask us for help. So but if sometimes people just call me and say, "Geez, I'm thinking of going back. I miss my mum, or I miss my dog, or my cat, or whatever the fact may be." And just having a nice chat to that person. And sometimes people will call you and ask you that help. And because they see you are strong inside, and you can just give that help to them and be open to that, guys. So
can I share something quickly?
Probably are going to do that. So we've got 2 minutes.
What I've realized now, since I've been back to South Africa again now for 4 weeks. When we left South Africa, we were both, and I think you are still like that, very angry about what is going on in South Africa. And the way that stuff is handled, and just the road that South Africa is going into. Yeah, the path that it's going, it's not a good one. So, and very negative, which is, I can understand it. Everyone that lives there, you have to make a choice every day to stay positive if you live there. But the first time I went back to South Africa, I really didn't enjoy it. I just wanted to come back. 2 weeks and I wanted to come back. But then when we went back in September for the weddings and stuff, I think my mind shifted a little bit because I knew I don't have to live here. I can visit here and I can enjoy whatever I like and miss about South Africa, and I can go back home to New Zealand. And now the last time that I went back, I really enjoyed it. I think I just embraced everything that I used to love about South Africa, and in the back of my head thinking, I don't have to live here. I don't have to worry about the load shedding. I don't have to worry about the politics. I can go back home.
Yeah.
So just enjoy, and it makes you a little softer when you think of South Africa, or it made me a little softer. Things are still the same.
Yeah, and let's be quite honest. I was and will still be, and will probably ever be angry at South Africa because that made me strong enough to emigrate.
I just couldn't roll over because it feels like we were forced to live the country that we love because you can't make a living there. That was what made me angry.
And the thing is, whatever you do, if you're the wrong color, you're out. Sorry, I don't want to go. I don't want to go really there. But whatever you try to do, there's always that obstacle that is totally out of your control. That's either in politics or skin color or the fact that you're a man. It's a lot of stuff. But let's not go there. It's a lovely morning. All right, guys and girls, that's our time this morning. I can say with that proudly we're feeling a bit better after the COVID. We still got this terrible cough.
Still coughing, but otherwise we're good.
So if you get COVID and you're feeling very, very bad, it is that way. This was our first time for COVID. And the strain, I believe, is the South African strain that even makes me more angry at the bloody country. So
we survived.
We survived. Like anything else, we survived. All right. That's us this morning. Thanks for listening to us. I know last week we weren't in the right frame of mind to even think about.
We were just coughing. We wouldn't be able to talk. So go make your pros and cons lists. Yeah. Be honest with yourself.
And if you are still in South Africa and you're really thinking about moving to New Zealand, guys, think the first thing you've got to think is, I am going to have to change to adapt to that culture and that country because it's better for me that way around.
And you know what? It is lovely.
All right. Oh, South Africa, stay safe. In New Zealand, lights are on, guys. Let's do business.
Yes, it's not winter yet, so we're enjoying it.
And it's feeling like Durban this morning. A chilly Durban, but it's feeling like Durban. All right. Enjoy. See you all next week, same time, same place.
Bye. Bye.